we start this phenomenal feature from this phenomenal lady. See that? This phenomenal lady right here. We were going to read together a poem that happens to appear in the book Woman. And, oh, she's like, I'll hold it up. Woman. Different covers, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's available. But this book we're going to read together, and it's called Confident Women.
Are you ready?
Say it.
I met up with an old friend of mine for drinks last week.
I knew her in high school, although we weren't close friends then.
In those days, she needed therapy, had problems with drugs, I think. Or else it was just family problems.
I was a bit insecure myself, shy, meek, scared of life.
Since those days, we matured. We're now more independent, self-confident, self-assured women.
It was good to see her again.
She just came back from camping in Australia.
Although physically I had gone nowhere, we both had our stories to tell over a bottle or two of wine.
And we gossiped. She told me of the handsome Australian man she fell for.
I told her of the roller coaster I call my romantic life, and we laughed.
And then the gossip changed. Her voice lowered, and sounding stern but quiet, she told me of how a man broke into her apartment one night last summer and tried to rape her, and after kicking and screaming in her underwear, she managed to break free and her attacker escaped.
She told me they found the man, and the trial is scheduled for later in the month.
And she sat there with her wine glass in her hand, looking so confident, as if she knew she won this battle.
Trying to not sound corny, I told her I could give her a hug.
And she leaned on my shoulder and she cried, hiccuping, as she tried to catch her breath.
They would make her recount everything on the stand, she said, and the defense lawyers would try to make her sound promiscuous because she slept alone in her underwear.
I told her I would go with her to the trial.
I told her she is winning by speaking out.
Self-assured women.
Confident women.
How confident are we supposed to be?
That was just like a good enough thing. I mean, even though she's read so much and she's so phenomenal, that was just so cool just hearing her voice for the introduction. Please, ladies and gentlemen, as she drinks her wine, awesome. Yeah, so awesome. Give it up for Jenene Ravesloot. Come on.
As you all know, I'm doing some noir pieces with the boys, and it's been very exciting. Tonight I'm going to do a whole bunch of noir poems and short stories. I hope you enjoy. I'm going to start out with a sestina. This one is going to be published in Janet's book.
Woohoo! October! It's gonna look flowers on the sprouts. Just saying, it's awesome.
Spring and not one singing bird, sestina variation. Spring and not one singing bird, reader. The future is a naked branch. How can I help you? The receiver of this poem will hear nothing, just a certain calmness like after a suicide, but before the corpse has been cut down. Before the corpse has been cut down, spring and not one bird. The air is calm after a suicide. Reader, the future is a naked branch. You will hear nothing. How can I help you? I don't think I can help you. Before the corpse has been cut down, you will hear nothing, nothing, not even one singing bird. Reader, the future is a naked branch. Everything will be calm, like after a suicide. Everything will be calm, like after a suicide. I doubt that I will ever be able to help you because the future is a naked branch and the corpse has not been cut down. It is spring and not one bird. You will hear nothing. You will hear nothing, just a certain calmness, like after a suicide. You won't see one bird. I will not be able to help you. The corpse has not been cut down. The future is a naked branch. No future, just a naked branch. The receiver of this poem will hear nothing before the corpse has been cut down, just a certain calmness, like after a suicide. I will never be able to help you. It is spring. There isn't one singing bird. No one can help you. The corpse hasn't been cut down. It is spring and not one bird, just silence like after a suicide. The future is a naked branch. You will hear nothing. We are a group of 5 right now doing some riffs, and I have turned some of my poems from the riffs into some noir short stories. I'd like to share a few of them with you, if I may. I'm sorry. This is titled Green Sky, Misty Rain. Chapter 1. Detective Taffy Pulsum has left the building. So have most of the others. But I'm still here looking out an 8th floor window onto Millennium Park, looking up at a sky green with misty rain, looking down on a bronze statue of a cow in front of the cultural center, and the corpse right here on the floor. Sometimes I feel like a monkey on a string begging for small change. Sometimes I feel like Jehovah's redundant hired gun. Sometimes like the dancer who keeps on dancing after the music has stopped. I'm sick of it. Real sick of it. I turn and look into a mirror splattered with blood, and all I can hear is, "You're getting old, old man." Chapter 2. Sequestered rooms, another day, mysterious cries hang in the air at dawn, sound of snarling dogs. This is killing me. Then I remember I've been here before. How many times is enough? Chapter 3. What did the Vic do to deserve this? Hogtied, gagged, stabbed at least 10 times. Someone wanted him dead, real dead. No more reruns for him. No more I Love Lucy, Leave It to Beaver, Princess Summer, Fall, Winter, Spring. No more needing of gin at 4 a.m., belly pressed against a bar. Christ, life never was perfect, never will be. Chapter 4. My partner drags herself through the door at 10 a.m. She's hard to read sometimes. We both have reports to write, don't talk until afternoon finds us at Dandy's Bar and Grill under the Wabash L with threadbare ideas. Nothing more. Outside, gutter rainbows are stuck in rain puddles, dead-end streetwise dreams. What is done is done. I order a Coke and fries, please. Simpler times. Chapter 5. We walk through a park on the way back to the precinct. Someone is playing round midnight on his sax. Someone is hustling for small change. I've got plenty of that. Chapter 6. What kind of perp is this guy? We know he's a guy. Got him on film, coming out of the elevator, pimply-faced kid covered in blood for Christ's sake, and no one to stop him. But there's no escape out of here. Everything repeats itself. Sound of barking dogs in an alley, strange songs, words that say so little. Rats running against a wall, looking for an exit sign. 7. Taffy Poolsome leans over, screams in my ear, closing time. I'm blinking at the white bulb. Now what, I say to myself. Action's all that counts. Chapter 8. Add it up, Taffy. Rainy evenings, dirty needles stuck in ice-cold veins, blood, more blood, moth wings caught in ragged screens, lost futures, moments that played mad serenades, cell phones ringing in empty apartments. Reality is an evaporating dream, so relax, sit back. We'll be out of here soon enough. Stare out a dark dining car window. We're both hurtling toward a big city on the other side of complex times. Pull down the stained green window shade. Adjust your sunglasses. Our monkeys are getting salted peanuts, Glenlivet straight up. No water on the side. Didn't my ex-old lady used to say, done is done. I'm sorry. Chapter 9. Bad news at 6 p.m. or any time on the World Wide Web. Hurt dogs. Toxic meltdowns, things I can't do anything about, the kind of stuff that used to bring me to my knees while shopping for organic fruit, sticky rice. Get me out of here, my lizard brain is screaming, but the perp is in Paris with the brightest moon in 18 years. I'm feeling that whirring bullet with my name on it, crosshairs that make me shiver. Lifelines on each outstretched palm have packed their bags, are leaving town without me, without so much as a goodbye. Chapter 10. They won't extradite him. They don't believe in the death penalty. On the way back to Chicago, I'm reading Sartre's No Exit. Taffy's sleeping it off. Chapter 11. Sour scent of Taffy's hair on the pillow. Sour scent of sex on the sheets. I can hear caged canaries singing in the next apartment, the dwarfs screaming, parrots at the opposite end of the hall, banging doors, someone descending a staircase so softly you would think they were treading on white rose petals. She's in the kitchen drinking coffee, downs a shot of bourbon, says, I need to get back to work before you become my work. I know what you mean, Taffy, but all I want is a bag of sliders on the way down to the bottom of this bed bug life. I'm gonna I switch to letter. Dear neighbor, important people have suddenly disappeared from my life. My ex-wife, my lover, my therapist, my few remaining friends, acquaintances, not so much as a forwarding address. They've canceled their cell phones, pulled their Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter accounts. I'm telling you this because I need your verification of my existence. A morning knock on my apartment door, the sound of my voice will suffice. Contact the landlord. If I do not respond, I never leave the apartment before noon and home by 5. I'm counting on you. My goldfish and my 2 aging canaries must be fed. As for my belongings, the landlord can dispose of these in any way he wishes, but please feel free to take what you want. The 4-poster bed, lounge chair, couch, the usual odds and ends of an insignificant life. My unpublished manuscript. Neighbor, I need your help. I walk through space like a sleepwalker. Am sure of nothing, not even you. For a little change, I'm going to do love in the new year. I weave, paint, do all order of things. No more bottles of aspirin, sleeping pills. No more OxyContin mixed with booze, vomit on the bed. Just that downy voice when evening comes, but I can't jump in good faith now. He has me by the wrist, won't let me go. Down, down, down. Damn, this newest god with long blonde beard who holds me here another year. Damn, this dangling doll I once called me. We know the truth. We know the truth. Jesus was a criminal with eyes like crumpled cellophane that seemed to ask which way out of here, pal. But there's no easy way out of here, no third door, no surprise prize if we get it right. We're stuck here, like ash on a rose blossom until we're blown away. All our bad deeds camouflaged, still intact. Accepted. God, Gautama, hasn't left a crumb for us to follow him. All the roads have been vacuumed clean, like footsteps after a snowstorm. A few more?
I think you do.
Okay.
1 or 2 more, you're good. Yes.
Okay. This is a triolet. I really do like form poetry. It can be quite fun. Imperfect triolet. What was thought imperishable rots. Rots like an antique kimono. My love. White, red, black silk peonies drop. What was thought imperishable rots. A harbor bell clangs in hell, not my fault. And to think you once said, I'll never leave. What was thought imperishable rots. Rots like an antique kimono. My love. Just 1 second. Another cheery poem.
Woo! Hey, sure knows.
What can I say? It's been a long winter. Anyway, the phone rings. No one is there when you answer. Okay, so I'll start. The phone rings. No one is ever there when you answer. Just that silence that reminds you how empty you feel, the kind of silence you've heard at the bottom of the pool. You can see the sun that floats like a dead man down there. Glare of sunlight off blue and white tiles. Hear that sound of phone ringing when you dive in. You can hear that sound of phone ringing when you dive in. No one will pick up the phone. No one will answer. You can see the glare of sunlight off the blue and white tiles. Everything reminds you of how empty you feel. The sun floats like a dead man down there, floats at the bottom of the pool. At the bottom of the pool, you can hear that sound, hear it when you dive in, see the sun that floats like a dead man down there, hear a phone ringing that no one will answer. You hear that silence, how empty you feel. Sunlight glares off the blue and white tiles. Sunlight glares off the blue and white tiles. The sun floats like a dead man at the bottom of the pool. That silence reminds you of how empty you feel when you hear that sound. A phone rings when you dive in. It will not be answered. You can see the sun that floats like a dead man down there. You can see the sun that floats like a dead man down there. Sunlight glares off the blue and white tiles. The phone rings. You can hear it ringing. Who will answer? A silence. A strange sun hovers at the bottom of the pool. A phone is ringing when you dive in. Everything reminds you of how empty you feel. Everything reminds you of how empty you feel. The sun that floats like a dead man down there. That sound of phone ringing when you dive in. Glare of sunlight off blue and white tiles. The kind of silence you've heard at the bottom of the pool. A phone rings. No one will ever be there to answer. A pool. That sound. A phone ringing when you dive in. You cannot answer. Sunlight glares off the blue and white tiles. How empty you feel. You're a dead man down there. I'm doing, and I hope I have enough time to do this. Please call me on it if I don't.
You are timeless. You are timeless, love.
I'm doing a whole series titled the Lavender Blue Butterfly series, and it's quite long, but I'm only going to do the first section, and it's quite a lot of fun. Anyway, it's titled the Lavender Blue Butterfly series. The first chapters. Chapter 1. What tattoo? I ask. The cop is pointing to my wrist with one straight, hard finger, begins to press into my flesh. For all the world, it feels like a .38 revolver. I start to wince. Hey, hey! I finally blurt out. So lighten up, won't you? But he's having none of it. Look, it's here. I tell you, I could see it. A lavender blue butterfly with red dots on each wing. I can see it plain. I can. See? I can't see, but it's getting tense, so I relent, say, okay, what of it? Satisfied that he's made his point, he lets me walk right past him to the front door, which is sealed with yellow crime tape. No way in that way. That's when I see my partner, Sarah Bernhardt. She motions for me to follow her to the back entrance, which leads into the music room. The dame is still splayed on the floor. Blood is everywhere, and the sergeant is playing Mozart on the baby grand like it's a night of cocktails and canopies. He doesn't even look up when I walk in. "Hey, Sarge, what's new?" I ask. But he keeps on playing. The music room faces the garden, a long expanse of green in a misty rain. The roses hang their heads like the dead, and two people are standing on a small bridge that arches over a pond teeming with carp. "Who are those people?" I ask Sarah, but she joins the sergeant at the piano, and as the saying goes, they only have eyes for each other. I walk out into the garden over the bridge to join the two people who are staring at something in the water. A straw hat floats, and the two of them debate about who should go in to retrieve it, but they drop the subject when I appear. I introduce myself, ask them who they are, what they're doing, and did they know the victim in question before her untimely demise on the red rug in the music room. They don't seem the least bit surprised by my questions. The gentleman, as it turns out, is the husband of the deceased lady, and the woman at his elbow is obviously not his secretary. Both seem intrigued, anxious to help in any way they can, since they both have alibis for safely ensconced in a hotel room downtown around the time of the murder. The three of us exit the bridge, enter through the French doors of the music room. The sergeant and Sarah are still at the piano singing now. The body and blood are still on the rug. I'm beginning to get irritated. I hate a mess. Any kind of a mess. "Hey, can't we at least cover the lady up? Show some respect?" I ask. I can't sleep tonight. Something is really bugging me. Maybe it's the husband. Maybe it's the girlfriend. Maybe it's the straw hat in the pond. Maybe it's that damn song Sarah and Sarge were singing. Or maybe it's the butterfly the cops think I have on my wrist. Beats me. But I just can't sleep. Get up 5 or 6 times before the alarm finally goes off. Morning at the precinct isn't a pretty story. Everyone's grumpy, especially the sergeant. I know better than to bother him before noon, so I go back to the scene on my own. No sergeant, no Sarah, no kidding. I need time to think things through, walk some thoughts around in my head. For starters, I beat it out to the garden. The straw hat is gone, the mist has lifted along with the heads of the roses, and lavender blue butterfly is hovering like a question mark. I set to work, dig in the garden with an old pitchfork I find in the garage. Pay dirt. It's like that damn butterfly is pointing to the spot, and the knife. Forensics will find fingerprints. I'll get this son of a bitch soon enough. In the meantime, the sun is shining, and I'm feeling mighty warm. If only I had that straw hat. Thank you very much for being so patient.
I was going to say, I don't think any of us were allowed up. Get up for this phenomenal woman right here, Jenene Ravesloot. in here. Thank you very much. And if anybody's interested in these phenomenal podcasts, we've got one that'll be coming out from her in probably a day, if you're lucky, a day, maybe two. Our upcoming features will include next week, oh, she's here. Does she leave? Where is my Deborah? Deborah Rosa just left. I didn't even get to praise her. She just, and I'm like, oh, well, everybody, next week we got Deborah Rosa for our feature next week. And there she is. I thought you looked right. Yay, well, yes, me, but I'm so looking forward to hearing from you, Deborah. I really am. And after that, on April 12th, yeah, everybody gets to miss April Fool's Day. But on April 12th, we've got Larry O.D. coming up. We've got GPA, the Poetic Concept, coming up on April 19th. On the 26th, Martin Altman. He will finally get his feature because he didn't get it earlier on. We've got Maureen Fannery, Oz Hardwick